We've all been through trauma and really tough experiences in life. That is the human experience. We all go through it, and it's tough. It really is. But where you start in life is not where you finish. You got to fight for what you want, and you can change. You can be an whatever version of you that you can fathom in your mind, you can do it. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes energy, but you can do it.
Hello, Logan. It's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
Life is good. Life is good. Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Beautiful, my man, and thank you so very much for being here. You see, I truly appreciate you. And you see, Logan, oftentimes I love to thank my guests for two things. And I do this so often to the point where it has become my anthem. So firstly, Logan, I want to say thank you so very much for investing in yourself. You see, my man, you are on this platform right now because you did invest that in yourself. And oftentimes, Logan, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. You see, some couple of months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, Logan, there was this very tall, unattractive mango tree. And I used the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it, and I went my way. But you see, Logan, just recently, I was on that same road. And this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree, you see. The mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance. And immediately, I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me. Because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches, and not just mangoes now, Logan. I'm talking about ripe mangoes. It was such a beautiful experience that day, and I was so excited. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing Logan that you are today, that alone has made it impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you got the request from me to be on the show, because I was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing, your philosophies, your insight, the impact your work is having, and how you are offering your solutions, Logan. These stuffs are beautiful. And just before I sent you that request, my man, I said to myself, I've got to benefit from these beautiful things Logan is doing. And not only me now, because I don't want to be selfish, and even with the audience. And here we are today with the amazing Logan. So thank you so very much for doing that yourself. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing Elisha could do about it. Thanks so much, my man.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much for your kind words.
Beautiful. So let's get started, Logan. You see, I am quite excited to have you on the show today for some reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, Logan, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information. And you see, my man, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness, ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking. Why? Because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. And the second reason why I'm excited to have the incredible Logan on the show is for the sake of the audience. You see, my man, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, eye-opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced, Logan, that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, my man, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or your professional journey, because right now we are so curious. We want to know how Logan got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Logan, my man, over to you.
Oh my goodness. So much to unravel. Do you want to start at the beginning and work to now, or do you want to start now and work backwards? Because it's crazy.
Okay, let's start backwards and to the present. All right.
Okay, sounds good. I am originally from Chicago. Didn't know my dad, but grew up to a single parent, my mom, and was raised with my mom and my grandmother. My mom had unfortunately, she battled mental illness her entire life. So she was bipolar. And as a little kid, it's hard to like, hey, I just want to, get some ice cream and play. And like, I don't know why things are crazy now, but I'm just going to try to keep you happy so I can go play. And that was difficult to navigate as a child. I also grew up in a pretty strict religious cult where we weren't allowed to watch certain TV shows. I wasn't allowed to watch cartoons. Wasn't allowed to eat chocolate or, even play sports. So
Ooh.
it's tough growing up, right? It's tough growing up with other kids and not being able to go to recess with them, go to gym class, play basketball, play soccer, play football. Um, and so every step of the way as a child, I felt uh, like I was different, you know? And we didn't even celebrate holidays. So no birthdays, no Christmas, no New Year's, no nothing. Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. Um, and as a result, I was kind of suicidal at the age of 17, 18 years old. And it was just my little brain trying to understand and process what I was navigating, what I was dealing with, and didn't want to be in pain anymore. It wasn't that I wanted the newest clothes or, something crazy. I just didn't want to be different from everyone else. I wanted to go to recess. I wanted to, play sports with my friends. And so that was tough. I remember leaving church one Friday night, looking out at the street and wondering what it would feel like if that truck that was coming down hit me, and just how to make it all be over. And that was tough. That was really tough. Um, I ended up. I knew, I loved my mom, but I knew I needed to get away from that situation in order to save myself, and so I could live some life of normalcy. So I ran away and joined the Air Force, the U.S. Air Force, and it was great. Like, it was everything that I needed and wanted to kind of run away from. But a couple years into my military service, I went to Iraq. And in Iraq, we got, at the particular base that I was at, we got mortared with small arms and artillery shells 7 times a day. Morning, noon, night, while you're sleeping, it didn't matter, just randomly eating lunch. We would have to hit the deck and grab your Kevlar vest and your helmet and pray that everything was going to be okay. And that's tough, to kind of live your life knowing that, on one hand, you're in the situation and you can't get away from it, and there's not a lot you can do about it. And also, you still have to be a little normal. You still have to go to the gym with your friends and watch movies and tell jokes, and, like, your brain doesn't want to stay in a heightened sense of worried about your life and death and things like that. And, at the same time, seeing very, close people pass, or, lose limbs, or, see buildings blown up with holes in them, knowing that good people, lost their lives or got seriously hurt, and it's tough. So I had 2 tours in Iraq. I was there for 6 months, came back home for 6 months, went back for 6 months. And when I came home, I was married, and with my little daughter, I could see, on one hand, I could see what was happening. I could see that mentally I was still in Iraq. I was still hyper vigilant. I didn't trust people. I couldn't go to a restaurant and just be present with my family. I was watching the doors, watching everyone in the restaurant, making sure, like, just looking for a threat. Hypervigilance, anxiety, all of these things it just lived with me in my heart, in my head, and I couldn't get rid of it. And it took me such a long time to finally relax and know that I'm not in that war zone anymore. I'm okay. I'm at home. And it took so long that, unfortunately, my marriage took a toll, and we ended up getting a divorce. And as a result of that divorce, I went and hit rock bottom one more time. I turned to alcoholism. I turned to drinking. I was living in Belgium, so the Air Force had sent me to Belgium, and I didn't have a huge support system. So I couldn't really talk to people and connect with people the way I wanted to. I wasn't sleeping. I was an insomniac. I was really struggling with just dealing with, like, okay, I wasn't going to be in my daughter's life the way I wanted to. And as a result, I hit rock bottom, and I went through another bout of suicidal ideation. I wanted to kill myself and just, again, get away from the pain of knowing that I was struggling with Iraq. I was struggling with, the skeletons in my closet from childhood that I hadn't dealt with. My trauma from being a child, my trauma from Iraq, and now I'm dealing with divorce. I remember one morning walking to work, drunk as a skunk, at 3:00 in the morning, and I knew by the time I would get to work, I would be sober and everything would be okay. But as I sobered up on that walk, I realized that if I killed myself, that my daughter would know unequivocally that my dad couldn't fight. My dad took a way out, and that's an option. And I didn't want her to feel like suicide was an option. So that day I made up in my mind that I was going to not only quit drinking and I wasn't going to kill myself, but I was going to take control of my life and show her what it looks like to fight. I chose to pursue my dream of directing live television events. And I ended up moving to Los Angeles. I didn't know anyone. I didn't have a network. In the Air Force, I was an airport operations manager, so I knew nothing about television. But I picked up and I was like, you know what? I'm going to show her what it looks like to fight for your dreams and to accomplish them. And I'm very proud to say over the past 10 years, I've been a live television director, and I've been a part of some amazing productions. I've been a part of multiple World Series, Super Bowl. I myself have directed multiple French Opens, multiple Australian Opens for tennis, sports highlight shows, concerts, corporate events, things of that nature. And I've now that I'm on the other side of all of this crazy childhood, Iraq, all of that, like how did I do it? How did I come from all of this really low negative place, terrible mindset, just really negative headspace, and understand that, the power of positive thinking, the mind, the neuroscience into accomplishing your dreams. I really took time to understand the neuroscience of how you can change your identity over time and change your way of thinking and transform. And some of the things that our parents told us that, you're hardwired into who you are and you're always going to be a certain way. That's not necessarily true. You can change. It just depends on how bad you want it and how hard you're willing to fight for it. And understand those little tips and tricks on how the brain works to achieve your goals. And that's what I've been studying. And it's been a really beautiful journey.
Amazing, Logan. And thank you so very much for sharing this. I tell you, and that just tell you how powerful it is when one makes that decision sincerely. You say you were walking to your workplace 3 o'clock in the morning, and that shift occurred because you don't want your daughter to think suicide is an option. And that's amazing. And the fact that you changed how you were thinking and it transformed you, that's really amazing. So you've answered almost all of my questions except two.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let us talk about how someone can start breaking from old patterns. Let's say we've got some people listening right now who are currently still stuck in some patterns that, how can they break out from it?
Absolutely. Great question. And I think it's a really beautiful place to be, to realize that you are stuck and you know where you want to go, but you haven't quite got there. The first step, as they say, is knowing that you have a problem. That's the first step. So you are already winning because you have taken the time to do an evaluation in yourself. That is always the starting point for me. I'm always evaluating, am I happy and am I where I want to be in the various aspects of life, in my relationships, in my personal development, in my professional development, and my finances, and my nutrition. And do I have the another pillar that's really important to me is fun and creativity. Am I doing things that give me joy in life? So if in any of those aspects of life, if you're not where you want to be, that's when it's time to, in my opinion, I like to suggest to people, take a weekend, go spend time by yourself, turn off the phone, turn off social media, and take some pen and paper or and take a time to journal, right? Find out what is important to you, what moves you, what makes you wake up, what inspires you, what you don't like. Take time to write all these things down and get to know yourself, because a lot of times social media and other people's expectations, even our parents put expectations on us, and we can get stuck in those identities that maybe are not who we are in our core. And sometimes, just like, bears come out of hibernation, you got to shake off the old fur, or you have to lose that old version of yourself to become the new version of yourself. So understanding where you are and where you want to be, I think, is a huge important step. And taking time by yourself to understand where you want to go is a huge first step. And I think the important second step is something that I teach. The way I like to look at it is, look at your life like a military operation. Look at it like you want to take over a city. You're thinking about logistics. You're thinking about governance. You're thinking about utilities. All of these elements of your life, you want to take control of actively. Don't leave it to chance. If you want to be in a better financial situation, guess what? You need to look at where you are, where you want to be, look at those people that are doing those things that you want to do, and take notes. Take advantage of a YouTube lesson or those people that are experts in tax planning, tax strategy, saving, investing. Use the resources that you have, and you don't have to spend a ton of money, but use the resources that you have to help you get to that next level.
Use the resources that you have to help you get to that next level. I got that. So to bring this to an end, Logan, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And to those individuals who would like to reach out to you, learn more about the beautiful stuff you're doing, or even ask you questions, how can that be possible?
Absolutely. To those folks out there, I want you to know that we've all been through trauma and really tough experiences in life. That is the human experience. We all go through it, and it's tough. It really is. But where you start in life is not where you finish. You got to fight for what you want, and you can change. You can be an whatever version of you that you can fathom in your mind, you can do it. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes energy, but you can do it. You must understand the power of the brain to understand how to take control of your subconscious and control it so you can go in the direction that you want to go. I teach this as a personal integrated growth specialist, and I help people accomplish their dreams. I help people using neuroscience and military strategy to help people achieve their dreams and goals. Please follow me on social media at the Logan Unlimited, and my website is theloganunlimited.com. Again, I help people with those tips and tricks and how to really attack their life and not just allow life happen to you, but really lean in and take control of your situation.
And that's a beautiful one you're doing, my man. And I appreciate that. So that's going to be the end of the show, Logan. Thank you for coming. And thank you for sharing this wonderful stuff with us. It means a whole lot, man. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. And I really appreciate what you're doing. You know, it takes everybody together to help people and let you know, like, hey, you're not in this alone. You know, reach out to Elisha, reach out to myself. You know, we're here to help. We'll be your best friends.